You know someone like this. He has brilliant business ideas, grand financial dreams, a sparkle in his eyes of someone born for wealth and success. He talks about incredible investment opportunities, revolutionary business concepts, get-rich-quick schemes that will change everything. He lives on financial possibilities, but never brings anything to monetary fruition. He always has a ready excuse for each financial failure. It wasn't the right time to launch the business. It wasn't the right investor. The market hasn't understood his vision yet. The economy is rigged against people like him. Maybe he is that childhood friend of yours, who's always starting new ventures but never finishing them. Or a younger brother who jumps from cryptocurrency to dropshipping to real estate courses. Maybe he is your boyfriend who talks about being an entrepreneur, but coin and hold down a regular job. Maybe he is your father, someone who despite their age seems to have stopped in financial time. An adult who still behaves like a boy when it comes to money, emotionally unstable about wealth, averse to financial commitments, always seeking business freedom and fleeing from any real economic responsibility. And maybe, just maybe, part of you still hopes that he will change financially, that one day he'll stop talking about money and start making it, that he'll finally grow up about wealth and build something real. Carl Jung named this financial pattern the Puer Eternus applied to money, the eternal financial boy. It is the archetype of the man who refuses to grow up about wealth, who lives eternally in financial transition, as if he is always preparing to get rich but never actually starting the real work of building wealth. He enchants with his entrepreneurial energy, his creative business ideas, his spontaneous financial plans. But there is a shadow behind this monetary charm, the inability to deal with the demands of actual wealth creation. The financial pure expects money to conform to his desires, that others will solve for him what he refuses to face about building wealth. He idealizes the perfect business opportunity, the perfect investment, the perfect financial life. And when economic reality does not match his fantasies, he flees. He breaks away from financial commitments. He gives up on wealth building and returns to the cycle of unfulfilled financial dreams. He sees himself as too special to submit to the mediocrity of traditional wealth building, when in fact he is paralyzed by the fear of financial failure, of being economically frustrated, of growing up about money. If you have ever tried to help someone like this financially, you know how exhausting it is. You get tired of giving financial advice that goes unheard, of offering monetary support that is wasted, of trying to pull someone toward wealth building who deep down doesn't want to do the work required. And the cruelest part, he makes you feel guilty about money, as if you were the problem for demanding financial responsibility, for wanting him to mature about wealth, for not accepting to live in an eternal financial almost. But the truth needs to be said. This man you know is trapped in a fantasy of financial freedom that in practice is a prison of economic fear and monetary immaturity. And if he doesn't wake up to financial reality, he will grow old without ever having truly built wealth. The financial Puer Eternus is not just a type of financial personality. It is a deep archetype, a psychic force that operates in the unconscious of thousands of men and is often confused with entrepreneurial spirit, financial creativity, or investment intuition. But behind this light financial appearance, there is something much more serious, an almost instinctive refusal to grow up about money. Carl Jung observed this pattern in various patients, and when applied to wealth, the financial Puer appears as one who refuses to leave the paradise of financial childhood, the economic womb where money is cared for, protected, and resolved by others. He lives in the shadow of the promise of financial glory tomorrow that never arrives. He is the eternal financial son, the chosen entrepreneur, the special investor, but in practice, he never takes charge of his own wealth building. You have seen this up close. Men who jump from business opportunity to business opportunity, always seeking something more financially meaningful, who start investment projects with enthusiasm, but abandon them at the first market obstacle, who fall in love intensely with get-rich-quick schemes, but disappear as soon as wealth building demands real work and discipline. They talk about financial independence, money mindset, wealth consciousness, but cannot budget properly or maintain a consistent income stream for more than a few months. And it is not for lack of intelligence nor financial talent. The financial Puer is often brilliant about money, sensitive to market opportunities, full of business potential. He has a lively connection to financial creativity, investment, inspiration, and wealth imagination. But precisely because of this, he lives in the realm of financial ideas and escapes the weight of monetary reality. He wants to get rich without building assets, wants investment returns without risk management, wants business success without operational effort, wants the rewards of financial maturity without paying the price of economic discipline. And when the financial world does not deliver this magical wealth, he blames the economic system, blames his financial upbringing, blames market conditions, but never his own lack of financial maturity. Jung said that the Puer Eternus suffers from a disconnection with time, and this applies powerfully to money. The financial Puer is always in a financial, not now. Always waiting for something to happen economically. First, the right business idea, then the right investment opportunity, then the right market phase. He lives in the financial when. never in the monetary today. And because of this, he does not build wealth. He merely survives financially, fed by dreams that become economic burdens. But there is another side to this financial story, because the financial Puer, despite being monetarily immature, also carries a force that cannot be dismissed. He is the source of financial innovation, creative wealth building, the ability to reinvent economic life. The problem is not the entrepreneurial boy that exists within the man. It is when that financial boy takes control of wealth-building existence. There is something magnetic about the man dominated by the archetype of the financial Puer. He is financially light, spontaneous about money, speaks like a business poet, dreams like an investment visionary, and lives as if he is outside of economic time. He does not follow financial rules, does not accept monetary labels, does not cling to traditional wealth building, and this, for many, is fascinating. He seems financially free, and who does not desire financial freedom in a world suffocated by economic obligations, business commitments, and empty financial routines? But here lies the trap. This financial freedom is an illusion, a carefully constructed disguise to hide what he fears most about money: economic reality. The financial Puer is not financially free. He is a monetary fugitive. He flees from financial pain, business failure, investment rejection, economic frustration, the passage of time without wealth accumulation. He escapes the weight of being responsible for his own financial life, and every monetary choice he avoids, every business decision he postpones, every financial responsibility he transfers deepens his economic prison disguised as entrepreneurial autonomy. You have seen this up close. He says he does not want a conventional job because he was born for financial greatness. But the truth is that he is terrified of economic routine, business hierarchy, financial commitment. He says he does not want to tie himself to traditional wealth building because investment strategies are prisons, but in reality he is deathly afraid of surrendering to disciplined money management, of being truly seen as financially responsible, of being held accountable for his economic decisions. He says he hates financial rules, but deep down he just does not know how to deal with monetary limits. This financial freedom he sells to others is in fact a childish refusal to confront the harshness of wealth building. He wants to be eternally financially promising, unblemished by economic failure. And for that, he needs to remain in constant business motion, like a balloon drifting in the financial wind. But time does not wait, and the economic world sooner or later demands a monetary price. Jung said that the Puer Eternus lives in suspension, as if he is always floating between heaven and earth. And this perfectly describes the financial Puer's relationship with money. He does not want to descend into practical wealth building, does not want to root himself in consistent income streams, does not want to deal with the concrete aspects of financial management. But without economic roots, nothing grows financially. Without sustained effort, no wealth. And without financial pain, there is no monetary transformation. True financial freedom is not the absence of economic limits. It is the ability to consciously choose what deserves your financial commitment. But the financial Puer does not choose about money. He escapes from financial decisions. And in this economic escape, he not only sabotages his own wealth building, he gradually destroys the people who try to support his financial dreams. In the beginning, everything seems financially enchanting. The financial Puer Eternus shines with an entrepreneurial energy that attracts, inspires, and envelops. He is passionate about business opportunities, enthusiastic about investment possibilities, unpredictable in his financial ventures. But over time, that monetary shine begins to fade. What was business lightness transforms into financial absence. What was investment sensitivity turns into economic instability, and what seemed like financial freedom reveals itself to be monetary escape. It is at this point that the shadow of the financial Puer begins to show itself. The shadow of the financial man-child is sneaky. It manifests in small, daily monetary sabotages. He forgets business commitments, misses financial deadlines, becomes economically disorganized, abruptly changes his investment mind, breaks financial promises. But all of this is wrapped in an entrepreneurial narrative. I'm not ready for this business opportunity. I don't want to force myself into traditional wealth building. I need time to develop my financial strategy. The truth, however, is harsher financially. He is afraid of growing up about money, of making economic mistakes, of being judged for his financial decisions, of being ordinary in his wealth building. So unconsciously, he sabotages anything that requires monetary maturity. This financial self-sabotage affects everyone around him. Romantic partners live the anguish of loving a man who seems incredible in business essence, but absent in financial practice. He says he wants wealth, but never takes steps to build it systematically. Family members become frustrated seeing him waste financial talent, economic intelligence, and money-making opportunities. Friends grow tired of supporting someone who lives in the cycle of financial almost. And behind all of this, there is a suffocating feeling. He seems incapable of moving forward economically, trapped in an endless financial adolescence. And like every archetype, the shadow of the financial Puer feeds on the unconscious. He does not realize that he is destroying his own wealth-building potential, and, worse, believes that others are the problem. He accuses the economic world of being boring, financially rigid, monetarily controlling. He sees those who have built traditional wealth as traitors to entrepreneurial freedom, and so he isolates himself, more and more believing he is being true to his financial essence, when in fact he is being a slave to economic fear. Jung said that we do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The shadow of the financial Puer is not to be denied but faced. The problem is not the fact that he carries the entrepreneurial child within him. The problem is when that financial child becomes a tyrant, sabotaging the chance to live a wealthy and economically real life. And this financial sabotage has deep roots, because the financial Puer is rarely alone in his economic immaturity. Behind him, there is almost always a silent presence that feeds his financial behavior and perpetuates his monetary imprisonment. The figure of the financial symbolic mother. No financial Puer Eternus emerges from economic nothing. Behind almost every man who refuses to grow up about money, there is a silent figure, sometimes financially loving, sometimes economically suffocating, who protects him from the financial world, but also prevents him from facing economic reality. This figure in Carl Jung's analytical psychology applied to wealth is the archetypal financial mother, and when her presence becomes excessive, she transforms into the devouring economic great mother, the one who instead of giving financial life traps at money. This financial mother can be literal, a real overprotective mother who handled all his money, who never let him make financial mistakes, who always supported him economically in his falls, but who unconsciously prevented him from developing monetary autonomy. Or it can be symbolic, a partner who takes on the financial caregiver role, a grandmother who always bailed him out economically, a feminine figure who protects, nourishes, financially embraces, and unconsciously demands eternal economic loyalty in return. The financial Puer then becomes a man who seeks in the feminine world, not a financial companion, but a substitute for the economic mother. Someone who understands his money situation without demanding, who accepts his financial irresponsibility without confronting, who supports his business dreams without limits. This financial symbiotic relationship is comfortable but deeply destructive, because it prevents confrontation with the economic world. As long as he is being financially cared for, he does not need to act economically, he does not need to make money decisions, he does not need to grow financially. He remains in a state of eternal economic childhood, waiting for the women around him to resolve what he refuses to face. The call of financial adult life, and the symbolic financial mother is often trapped in this monetary game as well. She believes she is helping financially, that she is loving economically, but in reality, she is feeding a cycle of financial dependency that drains the monetary vitality of both. Jung was emphatic. The greatest tragedy is when the mother refuses to let the child be born economically. This means that even though the body ages, the financial psyche remains immature, childlike about money, waiting for economic comfort instead of seeking financial grounding. This dynamic becomes even more serious when the financial Puer enters romantic relationships. He falls in love quickly, idealizes the partner financially, places unrealistic economic expectations on her, as if she were to resolve all the financial voids he himself refuses to acknowledge. But as soon as the relationship demands financial depth, monetary commitment, or economic responsibility, he flees. He distances himself financially, he sabotages economically, or worse, he blames the other person for being too focused on money, because deep down, he never wanted a financial partner. He wanted a mother disguised as a lover, someone to handle the money while he pursues his dreams. Breaking this financial dynamic requires economic pain. It requires separation from financial enablers. It requires cutting the monetary psychic cord. But it is this financial rupture that initiates the true process of economic individuation. Growing up about money hurts, but not growing up financially hurts more. There comes a moment in financial life when the disguise begins to crumble. Unfulfilled business dreams weigh heavily. Failed investment relationships leave economic scars. A life once full of open financial possibilities starts to narrow, and then the man who still lives under the dominion of the financial Puer Eternus is forced to look in the economic mirror and ask, how long will I live as if I have all the time in the world to build wealth? This is the financial breaking point, the moment when the pain of remaining economically immature becomes greater than the fear of growing up about money. But those who think that financial maturing is a smooth process are mistaken. Jung did not spare words in describing this path, and when applied to wealth, he would say that the process by which a human being becomes truly themselves economically, is a monetary birth, and like any birth, it is made of pain, economic blood, and symbolic financial death. The first step is to face the collapse of financial fantasy. It is to understand that wealth will not wait for you to be ready, that there is no perfect economic moment, that no one will come to save you financially. It is to recognize that the real financial world is not a hostile place, but rather the only stage where something true can happen economically. That growing up about money is not betraying your entrepreneurial essence. It is building it systematically. But for that, one must mourn financially. The mourning of the idealized business boy, the mourning of the imagined financial life, the mourning of wealth promises that were never fulfilled, and above all, the mourning of the symbolic financial mother. Killing the economic boy within does not mean suffocating your business creativity, your investment lightness, or your entrepreneurial dreaming soul. It means no longer using him as an excuse to escape from financial life. It is allowing the business boy to continue existing, but now under the leadership of the financially mature man. Financial maturity requires economic construction, wealth structure, monetary consistency. It means saying no to bad investments when it is easier to chase shiny objects. It means committing to long-term wealth building even when you want quick financial freedom. It means working with business focus even when inspiration does not come. It means being present in financial partnerships even when the idealization has already crumbled. It means trading the ecstasy of new business opportunities for the transformative power of consistent wealth building. And here lies the secret. When the financial Puer is integrated into the adult man, he does not disappear financially. He transforms economically. He becomes the source of business creativity, investment vision, and entrepreneurial intuition, but now, channeled by a mature, firm financial psyche capable of acting in the economic world. This is true financial rebirth, when the eternal business boy stops fleeing from monetary reality and begins to build wealth with it. But this process is not easy economically, and it does not happen on its own financially. Many men at this point in the wealth-building journey feel lost, exhausted, not knowing where to start building real wealth. They know they need to change financially. They know the time of economic childhood is over, but they do not know how to take the reins of their own financial life. The time has come to make a choice about your relationship with money. If you have made it this far, it is because something inside you recognizes the urgency of what has been said about financial maturity. Perhaps you have seen this financial Puer pattern in someone close to you. Maybe you have seen yourself in every word about money avoidance. And there is no shame in that economically, because all of us to some degree carry the temptation to remain financially childish in a world demands monetary maturity. We have all run away from some financial responsibility, dreamed of economic shortcuts, and hoped that wealth would offer us comfort before we were ready to face the work of building it. But the truth is simple and brutal about money. Financial life does not wait, it demands it, requires it, tests. And sooner or later, you will be confronted with a choice: to remain trapped in the world of financial promises, or finally cross the bridge to the world of actual wealth. And this economic crossing is only possible when you choose to grow up about money. Not when you feel like it financially, not when everything is perfect economically, but when you decide with courage that it is time to stop running away from financial responsibility. Carl Jung said that the person who does not confront their own demons will be condemned to meet them at every corner of life. The financial Puer Eternus is one of those demons, one that hides under the name of entrepreneurial freedom, business, authenticity, misunderstood financial genius. But in practice, it corrodes your economic roots and prevents any solid wealth construction. It will not disappear on its own financially. You need to face it, acknowledge it, integrate it, and above all, choose to be economically greater than it. Financial maturity is what is born when you stop waiting for someone to come and save you economically and start saving yourself financially. When you understand that monetary responsibility is not a prison but a path to financial power. When you realize that true wealth is not doing whatever you want with money, it is having enough internal economic structure to choose what is financially necessary for your long-term prosperity. The choice is yours. Continue living in financial fantasy, or finally start building real wealth through economic maturity.